So my story is almost busted. It's not quite what Laura's looking for, but it's a pretty good story. So the story starts. I think I was in my senior year in high school. It was about New Year's Christmas party. Me and some friends were about to have, and we decided to have it at a house that we knew the parents weren't going to be around. Obviously, kids will be kids. And we decided to invite all of our friends over. Probably had about 20, 30 kids over. And, kids will do what kids do, like the first story. Drink non-alcoholic beverages, supposedly. And also partake in the sacred herb, if you will. None of those I've never done before, if anybody, my parents are listening, but not that they know of. So we were all, partying, having a good time, and believe it or not, I was in much better shape when I was in high school. And for some odd reason, she's lying. For some odd reason, I decided to always take my shirt off, and, because I would always get really hot, because I, just like to party, I like to move around. So part of the night, there's many pictures of me, on the floor, shirtless, still had my pants on, thank God. But, just having a good time, feeling the buzz, feeling the room, shooting the shit with everybody and all that. And all of a sudden we hear some ruckus from upstairs. We hear, oh, cops are here. And people had been making jokes earlier in the night saying, oh, the cops are here. Oh, shut up, no, that's not true. So I decided to make my way upstairs and, excuse me, all of a sudden I see flashing lights out front. And usually when you're shirtless and at a party, when you've been partaking in certain acts, you don't want to get caught by the cops. So everybody's on the main floor. Everybody's freaking out. They're going to get caught. Some of our older friends were freshmen in college, so they're like, oh, we're going to get kicked out of school. Other friends were just freaking out. There was this one kid, I'll say his name is Steve, and he was freaking out. He ran to the back. There was kind of an entryway, and he was freaking out. He's like, "Oh my God, Sam, should I eat crackers? Should I eat bread? I got to get the taste out of my mouth. I got to sober up. man. I got to sober up." He was just freaking out. I was like, "Shut up, Steve. Just hide in the back. You're gonna be okay. Okay? Nobody's gonna go into jail. Freak out." So calming him down, as we see the cop walking up to the door. My good friend, whose house it happened to be, or his father's house. Luckily, we knew the cop, so it was like, oh, we're not going to be in trouble. As I'm saying that, I look up. It's kind of a lofted house. I look up, and I see an arm hanging over the loft. And I was like, oh, crap, Matt, you're so blotsed out of your mind. You're not going to know what's going on. He's going to go to jail. Luckily, he stayed passed out the whole time the cop was there, so he was fine. As everybody's kind of huddling in the back, I start kind of freaking out, getting a little nervous because I've never been caught before. My parents think I'm a godsend. Luckily, I've just never been caught. So I'm just out there kind of getting a little nervous. I'm like, oh, should I make a run for it? As many of our friends had earlier, ran through fields. This was a house out in the country. Ran through the fields to the neighbor's house, just freaking out. So I'm like, oh, maybe should I do the same thing? Still shirtless, no shoes, no socks, just jeans, just going casual. I'm like, oh, I'll hide in the garage. They're not going to find me in the garage. So I hide out in the garage. My friend's dad's pickup was out there, so I was like, oh, I'll hide underneath it. They're not going to find me. Hide underneath there, freezing cold, concrete. This is January. I was New Year's Eve. January, freezing cold. I'm like, oh, dear God, I'm going to die. I'd rather just get caught by the cops. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to check the garage. So I go back into the entryway. Go back into the entryway. Steve's still freaking out. Oh, my God, I need to sober up. Shut up, Steve. So I go back into the garage. I kind of go to the outside door, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should just make a run for it. Go run to the outside building. I was like, no, that's just stupid. I'm not going to do that. So I walk to my vehicle. It was a little geo-tracker at the time. I climb into the back seat. It's snow and ice around. My feet are cut up and bleeding because it's just ice and disgusting. I'm crouched in the back of the tracker. I'm like, okay, I got to breathe really hard to fog up the windows in case the cops check the glass. I'm going to be hiding out here. I'm still going to get arrested. So I'm breathing really heavy, naturally, because I'm a big guy. So just breathing really heavy, fogging up the glass. I'm like, okay. I hear all the two other cops come. Other kids' parents come, and they pick them up because they're just pissed off. Later on, quiets down. I get out of the tracker, go creep back into the house. All of our friends come in from neighboring fields that they ran to. Get into the house. My feet are all cut up. I'm just like, oh, God. Everybody comes back in, and we continue drinking the rest of the night as the cops leave. Almost busted.